Más largo en la historia sería este de 66 y también para darle una victoria a Baltimore de manera dramática en el cierre del juego.
El récord previo es de Prater de 64 que viene desde el 2013.
Por el récord y por el partido, Tucker viene la patada, viene por el centro, pega y entró y Tucker.
So disappointing.
Justin Tucker tiene el récord de la NFL.
NFL record. This guy had a chance to give
66 yardas.
He had a chance to do a sí señor extraordinario. A Supremo.
Semanas consecutivas. La semana anterior en cuarta oportunidad preguntando
a
Mailsack si se la quería jugar, aseguró la victoria frente a Kansas y ahora ante Detroit. Cuando los Leones estaban a punto de dar la gran campanada de la temporada. Justin Tucker es el mejor pateador de la liga y de nuestra era y ahí lo está demostrando de manera.
See those little black boxes? They're called telephones. I'm going to let you on a little secret about these telephones. They're not going to dial themselves.
Would you like to answer a question right at this particular time? Would you like to do that?
I've got one phone number and one nickel left. Well, start using it.
Here comes the mailman.
Mail time.
The mail's here. When you control the mail, you control information. I'm ready for
Good evening. You are tuned into the Sleeper Wire Mailsack. Thank you so much for tuning in. The longest running, most successful, consistent, and entertaining fantasy advice call-in show live on Wednesday nights. I'm joined by a full crew today. We'll get to them in 1 second. If you are listening on a replay, unfortunately, the phone number I'm going to give you is not going to work. But you can reach us in other ways. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. If you are just tuning into the live show right now and you want to jump the line and ask us a question immediately, all you got to do is call this number 207-40-SLEEP, 207-407-5337, and you will talk to these guys, and they will answer your fantasy question. Who are these guys? Well, we'll start up at the top. Natter, he is the host of the Sleeper Wire show. You can find him on Twitter at TopTierTactics_. Over there, we also have Hoos. He is my deep sleeper seer. So if you want to know that guy's name that you don't know yet, who's going to win you the league, you talk to him. Hoos the Prophet at Sleeper Wire Hoos on Twitter. And a co-host, or maybe main host, I'm not sure if you call yourself the co-host or main host, of the Blitz live show, the other live show that we do, which is Sunday mornings right before kickoff, a couple hours before kickoff, answering all your start and sit questions. So he's going to bring that knowledge and that speed at answering questions to battle against Hoos's long-winded answers. It's George. Showtime George is on the show. You can find him at George Reed FF. That's the correct Twitter for you because you have a couple, right?
No, so I changed. It used to be at BFTG Pod, but after going to the Fantasy Football Expo in Canton this year, it was just much easier for people to know me as my actual name. So I just switched it up and just put my name. And unfortunately, George Reed was taken, so I added the FF, and it wasn't. And I'm going to roll with that.
See, that's called branding, folks. That's what you got to do. You got to create content and you got to branding. That's what you do. All right, we got a question already on the YouTube, it looks like. Brocodile FTW, who are you starting in full PPR? Juju, Sermon, Michael Mooney, Fuller, or LaVisca? We got to pick one, he says. Pick one.
Ooh. George, start it off.
So right away, I don't want nothing to do with Juju. Big Ben's got that arm that's just horrible. So I don't want nothing to do with that. Sony Michel, not really interested. Mooney, not really interested. You don't know who's going to be the quarterback there right now. It may be Andy Dalton. It may be Justin Fields. It could be both. Who knows? LaVisca Chenault I believe he's injured. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm going to rule him out. So
he played last week. He was injured with the shoulder.
Okay.
Unless he got injured again, which I don't think he did. And of course, the league I drop him in, he scored a touchdown.
It comes down to Sermon, and it comes down to Fuller for me. Fuller did not look impressive in his debut for Miami, so I'm going to go with Sermon. I expect him to at least share the load with Elijah Mitchell. So that's where I'm going to go.
Well, it's assuming Elijah Mitchell plays, right? I don't think he's even expected to yet.
I have a feeling he's going to play.
I would still, out of all those two, out of all the whole list, Juju and Sermon are the only two ones that actually interest me. If Elijah Mitchell does not play, Sermon all the way.
Yep.
But I think against Green Bay, I think Juju going against. I think that has a secondary where I think he can actually do something in.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Juju here. I think it's a pretty safe bet.
All right, there you go. We've got a caller. Our first caller, guys. If you want to be a part of the show, just dial the number. It is 207-407-5337. That's what this gentleman called, and he's now talking to us with a fantasy football question. Sir, what is your name? Thanks for calling the show.
How's it going, guys? This is Brandon from California. How you guys doing?
Hey, Brandon.
There we go.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if you guys could rate my trade I just made, and I'll kind of give you the rundown of my roster, and I can tell you why I kind of made this trade. But we traded Miles Sanders and Gaskin for Zach Moss and Ayuk. I want to see where you guys think that trade kind of lands on A to the F scale.
Wait, what? What format are we talking about here?
It's PPR, half-point PPR.
Dynasty, or is this just redraft?
This is his redraft.
So you give away Miles Sanders and Gaskin, and you received Zach Moss and Brandon Ayuk.
Yes.
George?
I'm gonna give it a C.
C.
Are you good at running back?
So I wasn't really high on Sanders or Gaskin. Just them playing from behind, the offenses are just lacking. I wanted to get Moss, kind of get a team that's always ahead and runs the ball. My running backs right now are Hubbard.
Hubbard's good.
Yeah, but that's temporary.
No, yeah, I'm sure he had more, but he was.
Brandon, are you there?
I don't know.
You cut off after Hubbard. What were your other running backs?
My other running backs were Hubbard. I have Madison, Sony Michel, Tyson Williams, and Mitchell. So I know I gave up a lot of depth, but the rest of my team is pretty well rounded out at receivers and tight end and QB. So I know I gave up a lot for running backs, but I think this is the frustration with those teams and the offenses lacking. They weren't really running the ball, so I wanted to get Zach Moss, knowing the Bills' offense would always generally be playing ahead. And I really think when Trey Lance comes around, Ayuk will be a heavy target for him.
What's your record?
I'm 3-0 right now.
Okay. I think this is a solid move if you're 3-0 because I do like Brandon Ayuk and I do like Zach Moss a lot. I think you gave up more than you needed to.
Yeah.
But I do love the trade rest of season for you. It's not a sexy trade on paper right now. It looks like you lost. But you're 3-0, and it could be brilliant because I do like Zach Moss. I do like Brandon Ayuk. We did see the boost. So a little bit of a smokescreen. I don't think you needed it to give up Gaskins And I'm sorry, who was the second player?
Brendan Ayuk.
Miles Sanders.
Oh,
Miles Sanders. So Miles Sanders just came off of one of his best games, probably of his career. Would anybody disagree with that?
No.
He hasn't had a very good career so far.
No.
So I think you gave him up at the. I'm assuming this happened before the game as well, because you could have got way more, I think. But I think looking back on this, it will be fine. I think if I'm grading the trade today, I agree with George. I think you get a C on it. But I think if we look at the rest of the season, I think you end up doing a B+, and it could be an A. But again, I think you gave up more than you needed to. But again, the guy must have been really high on this guy. I'm pretty sure he feels like he won the trade, and it does look like he won on paper today. But I do think it's going to work out for you.
Well, the problem with giving away running backs is they're so difficult to come up to come across. You have Chuba Herbert, but he's only going to be there for what, 2 weeks, if that, 3 maybe. And then after that, you're kind of weak in the running back position. I mean, Sony Michel, that you're going to be starting Sony Michel. That's not enticing or confident. Or what's a realistic stat line for Sony Michel? 5 carries, 20 yards. Maybe he comes in with a touchdown. I mean, you got to start people in the running back position.
Yeah, I plan to flip. I plan to flip Hubbard. The CMC owner wants him, but I'm kind of holding on to him. I'm just going to use him as a rental and then flip him. Then
what is he offering you?
He's wanting to get off Taylor.
Tyrod or Jonathan?
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, you smash that, except if he wants to give you Jonathan Taylor straight up for Hubbard.
Yeah, I do.
Because you're getting a rest of season player for a rental. And I think Jonathan Taylor's a great buy candidate. I mean, if I could get Jonathan Taylor for Hubbard in all of my leagues right now, I'd easily accept that. Smash it. I'd probably want to give something back just so the rest of the league mates don't veto it, to be honest with you. Now I'm being 100% honest. Like,
it's a good
have
point.
A lot of people that will hate on that immediately.
Yeah.
And they'll say, this is unfair. How did she get Jonathan Taylor for a rental? So you throw in a piece. So even some, like maybe Devonta Smith, who I think will be fine rest of the season, but you're not going to play him if your team is stacked. And then that makes the trade palatable to the rest of the league.
Because you don't want to. I'm gonna see that trade all over Facebook. Like, this is vetoable. And I don't believe in vetoes. I don't think a trade should ever be vetoed unless it's collusion. But yeah, you will have people complain about that trade.
Yeah, right now we got John, I think, on YouTube. He's saying, isn't he gaining, upgrading offenses with those players in that trade?
He absolutely
is. He is, but I feel like that's irrelevant. Like, James Conner was on a horrible team last year. He was fine. Christian McCaffrey, the year he had 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving. That was a terrible Carolina team. Like, last year, if you had the starting running back for the 49ers, they were a bad team because they were all injured. But you know what? They carried value. Like, so being a part of a good offense doesn't necessarily equate to being good in fantasy. Like, you could be on a bad team and still carry fantasy relevance.
Like Jonathan Taylor.
Like Miles Sanders, I think, obviously he was relatively disappointing in half-point PPR. He put up 7 fantasy points, but he only had 5 touches. He had 2 carries that game against the Cowboys. So, it's not like he's immensely disappointing. He had a disappointing week, but
he had a couple touchdowns or no?
No. Maybe week 1 he did. Week 1 he had like 14 or 15 points.
Okay, maybe I was watching the game. I feel like he had a much better game.
And Gaskin, I don't know. Like that's 2 startable running backs. That's 2 RB2s to flex players that you have to find a way to put in your lineup every single week. But
it worked out. You're 3-0.
Brandon Ayuk, I don't know. Ayuk doesn't look solid either.
The thing is with Gaskin, it's like he had a great game against Atlanta. Or not Gaskin, Miles Sanders. He had a great game at Atlanta. He gave you 15.3 fantasy points and half-point PPR. Then he went up against Dallas and he went up against San Francisco. And both of those teams are pretty decent defenses. You look at the rest of his schedule. He's got KC next week, which should be fine. Carolina is going to be tough. Tampa Bay is going to be tough. But then the rest of his schedule, the only team I really don't like him playing against is Week 10 at Denver. Like the rest of the schedule is very player friendly. So I think you could have sold low on Miles Sanders, and I understand we're poo-pooing the trade. If you're happy with it, dude, don't listen to anything.
I'm not poo-pooing the trade. I said I think it's going to be a B+ later down in the season. But I think we do have another caller.
Yeah, Brandon, you got anything else?
No, I'd say I appreciate it, guys.
I'm gonna throw this
where I made out on it.
I'm gonna throw this your way, Brandon. We like to play this for people who we think made good trades.
Who put this thing together? Me. That's who.
That's you, buddy.
That's you.
Tony Montana.
That's
all right. Coming up next, another caller. If you want to jump in on the show here, it's what is the number? 207-407-SLEEP. This is a caller. I don't know where you're from. I don't know who you are. Tell us your name and tell us where you're from and hit us with your question. What's up?
Hey, this is Blake from Pennsylvania. What's going on?
Hey, Blake. Thanks for calling the show, man. What do you got?
No problem. I wanted to know up front, are we okay to talk Dynasty by chance?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Yes.
All right, beautiful. All right, so just going in, this is my first Dynasty startup this year, first time playing, but I've been playing fantasy for a while.
Congratulations.
And I'm just going to upfront give you my core that I have going on my team, and then I want to give you the trade that I made before draft for the startup league. I just want to get an idea of how you guys think I might be sitting going forward long term. So this is full PPR Superflex. Quarterback, I'm rocking Josh Allen and then Justin Fields right now, with Jameis Winston filling in the meantime. For running back, I've got DeAndre Swift and Austin Eckler as my two. And then for wide receiver, I'm rocking Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. Now, my depth is complete garbage. I've got some, a tight end prospect like Pat Freiermuth, like a Dawson Knox here, but nothing solidified yet. But the trade I did make was I traded my third in the startup for a 2022 first and second and a 2023 second. So four top 20 picks going into next draft. I just want to see how you guys think I sat going forward long term into this Dynasty startup.
So who did you trade away at who did they pick?
They got Nick Chubb with that pick.
So Nick Chubb, and you got a 2022 first, a late one probably, or mid, right?
Probably, yeah.
22
late first, and then 2 seconds, second next year, and the second in 2023.
So 2 first, 2 seconds.
First and 2 seconds.
1 first and 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So sorry, I was counting my own picks going into next year. Sorry about that.
I don't love it. What's how many people are in this league?
It's only a 10-man dynasty.
Okay.
But it's
10-man, it's not as bad, Chubb's a stud, I think. I mean, they just locked him up in a my concern would have been if he didn't get the contract. That's kind of why I was a little lower on Chubb early in the offseason. Then they brought in the running back that people are talking about now that I was hyping up all offseason, and he's eluding me right now. Why can't I think of him? The wide receiver, Demetric Felton.
There you go.
So Demetric Felton, they brought in Demetric Felton, not to say he would replace Chubb, but I thought maybe he could replace Hunt, and then they just roll Hunt into, what he was doing on the Chiefs. But they did lock him up. So I don't like that as much. You gave up 2 seconds and a first, which this year is not great.
Oh, no, I'm acquiring those.
You're acquiring those first.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you're getting So you're getting 2 seconds. I do like the 2023 class a lot. Not so high on the 2022. I think the 2022 class is fine to buy if you're giving up pieces that are not as good. A lot of people are down on the 22 class And that's fine if you're able to capitalize off of getting a first round off of a player that's not so great. But you gave up Chubb. I think Chubb is worth at least 2023 first, not even 2022 first. I think if you got a 2022 first and a 2023 along with the second in both years, that would have been fine. I still would have liked a player in return, unless you're in complete rebuild mode. It doesn't sound like you are. So it sounds like you gave away a player that can help you win now, to kind of put you in a place where you're kind of stuck looking for him to replace. I don't know. It feels like you were perhaps pressured into it. I don't know. I mean, it could turn out amazing if you hit on these seconds. But as of right now, I'm going to give it a C, because we don't know. And you gave up, an elite running back, but I hope it works out for you.
So he's got Swift and he's got Eckler. So he's got two solid running backs. I feel like his running back core isn't the issue with his team.
That doesn't mean you give away an elite guy just because you have elite guys. Give me all the elite guys.
Chubb's ceiling is capped. He could only do so far and so well in fantasy with Kareem Hunt and now the third string
Henry for years. They said that about Derrick Henry for years because he doesn't get involved in the passing game. His ceiling is capped.
Yeah, but Derrick Henry's a beast.
So is Chubb.
So is Nick Chubb. I think Nick Chubb is, for me in Dynasty, and I played Dynasty. This is weird to say because a shout out to Draft Genius who got us all really into Dynasty. I feel like a few years ago. Now I feel like I play primarily Dynasty versus I still love this redraft. Redraft is a nostalgic. I want to play it and beat the crap out of people, because I feel like my knowledge is that much better than the people that are playing redraft. But that doesn't mean I can't still lose because there's still a ton of variance in hit rates, right? When you're in a redraft league, when you're in a dynasty, you can, you could trade away those first or those seconds, acquire. You could play for right now. You could play for later. There's a lot of different things you could do. You could trade away those waiver guys for picks. So there's a lot of ways you can win. But I digress. I think it's a C, just because it's a dynasty. It could work out. Sounds like Natter's pretty okay with it.
I'm going to give it a C as well, and I'm just going to be a lot more brief than his because if I don't interject myself, he'll just continue going on.
Yeah.
It's a C for me as well, and the reason why is it's a 10-man team or 10-team league, so you want to have more studs on your team. Yes, that means there's also less players getting drafted. So those second-round picks come slightly a little bit more valuable because talent's going to get pushed back. But you're not hitting a talent or a player at the level of Kareem Hunt, or not, I'm sorry, not Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb in next year's draft or in the second round of 2023. So I asked myself, would I trade a 2021 or 2022 first, a 2022 second, and a 2023 second for Nick Chubb? And the answer is no, I would not. So therefore, I'd give it a C.
Yeah, I'm going C+, but I do like George's point where, you know what, you just want the studs sometimes. And, say you get all those picks, and in theory, you have to hit on all those picks, right? It's not like they're guaranteed to be studs. They could be trash. I mean, and they could never see the field. So, and if that ends up being the case, then you not only lost that trade, you got clapped on that trade. So you want to make sure sometimes to get the stud rather than the potential future.
So let me give you a little bit of advice with trading before the draft. If you're trading your draft pick in a startup, especially if it's a first round pick, you want to get at least a second round pick in the startup draft or multiple, picks in the first 5 or 6 rounds for that first round pick. You should, in a dynasty, especially in the startup draft, where the players are the cheapest they will ever be, you definitely don't want to trade for future first or second round picks and not get something back in that draft as well. Because the talent you're getting in the 4th, 5th, and 6th round in a startup, there's only like 3 or 4 players in each draft for the most part that are at that caliber of a player. So you're putting yourself behind the 8 ball and doing yourself a disservice if you're not getting, a second, a third, and like a sixth for your first round pick in a startup, because the value is never going to be the same. That's something that you'll just learn through experience.
It was a third, but I see your point. Yeah.
Even at a third, like, you should have gotten another pick, maybe a fourth or a fifth in the startup draft, to where you could have gotten some, return value in that draft, even though you were trading back. It just sounds like somebody who was a lot more experienced,
more savvy,
in Dynasty,
for sure,
took advantage,
especially in startup drafts.
Yeah,
because that's a move that I've been in over 100, probably, like, between mocks and startups and best ball. I've been easily over 100 drafts this year, and I've seen people do that. I've seen people. I've actually fell for it in one league because I thought I was getting back picks in that same startup, and I got a first, a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth. His whole rookie draft for the following year for a third rounder who happened to be Mike Evans, who I'm not, it's fine. I'm actually like, okay, looking back at it, I'm okay with it. But I didn't get anything in return for that startup, which is, as what George is alluding to, that's not a good move. I got a first, second, and third, cool. But who am I drafting in the fourth or fifth? Maybe I get lucky and hit because I'm a sleeper guy, and I know the sleepers a little bit more than other people. Maybe I get lucky in the fourth or fifth. But now I got a fourth or fifth guy, rando guy on my bench that I probably got to drop somebody else for on my team.
Yep.
And I could have had this super stud player. So it could work out, but just look out for that kind of stuff in the future. Dynasty, it's a good beast to be in, but it's a beast.
And here's the thing with Dynasty. Once
the moral of the story is that a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, right?
Correct.
There you go.
Absolutely. And the more you do Dynasty, the more you'll convert to Dynasty is better than redraft. And that's not a knock to anybody who does redraft. Like, as we said, I've got a couple of redraft leagues. I do them every single year. My home league's a redraft. The Scott Fish Bowl's a redraft. Like, I do those every single year, and I love them. Don't get me wrong, but Dynasty's a passion. Like, once you get into Dynasty, you won't go back.
I'm going to disagree there. I think redraft is more fun than Dynasty.
Grinding, like, I'm looking forward. I'm trying to evaluate, make the most of the assets that I got now. The good news is I have ATN and Bateman on IR. So hopefully that's giving me a little bit of an injection of talent at depth going in the next year. And then, I probably made a hasty decision there, but the good news is I feel pretty sound in my draft process. I mean, you can say that about anybody, and that, even the best looking prospects can completely bust and fall in the dust. But I'll at least try my best to avoid completely busting on the picks I make. So appreciate you guys taking so much time to talk about it. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Blake,
no problem. That's like
anytime. And they mentioned Dynasty. Who's mentioned Draft Genius? Check out our other show, Dynasty Wire. We have a Dynasty show that's dedicated just to that format. And those guys do deep research into college players, and sometimes even look at like high school players coming into college. So yeah, it goes back a ways. All right. Thanks for the call, Blake. If you guys want to reach us and ask us a question, jump the line here, because we haven't even gotten to the sack yet. So now would be a good time to call 207-407-5337, 207-40-SLEEP. Call that. We got a couple more comments here. I did want to get to this one because this one came in through on the Podbean listeners. Black Mamba 24, who listens for years now, wants to know, who should I roster, J.J. Taylor or Ramondre Stevenson?
I'll let
neither.
Yeah, my answer's neither, but I'm going to let Hoos answer this one.
Yeah, I agree with these guys. I think what you're searching for is James White's targets.
Replacement.
And no.
Nobody can replace James White. Come on.
No one can replace James White, at least not a running back. You know who's going to replace James White's targets, though? At least small sample size. So this guy had 9 targets week 1, 6 targets week 2, and then week 3 he had 14 targets. Jacoby Myers. He is James White's replacement.
Yep.
He is the running back and a wide receiver in one. He will be a top 24 wide receiver rest of the season. He's not sexy at all. He's got a rookie throwing him the ball, but in PPR, he's going to be top 24. If you can get him for nothing right now, do that, because he's going to be a rotational player for you. He's seeing the volume. Shout out to Sheehan for the dub last week, telling me to start my guy. So he's a good replacement for James White. I mean, and it kind of made sense when we started to see it, but as soon as he went down, the target rate just boosted up. So leave these guys on the waivers. I don't think either one of them is going to do anything for you if what do we say? Demetric Felton's still out there and Jarvis Landry's missing time. Continuous, maybe take a stab at him.
All right. We'll jump back over to the YouTube comments. This is John. He was commenting on the other call. I have an IR slot stash question for you guys. There are two guys that have his IR stashes, Jeff Wilson and Rashad Bateman. Long-term thoughts. And then the next question. So let's worry about these two, and we'll get to the next one here. Jeff Wilson and Rashad Bateman. Any thoughts for those guys? Keeping them.
Yeah, Rashad Bateman. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Rashad Bateman, I don't mind that at all. I'd keep it in as a stash. Jeff Wilson, I think you should cut ties with him. There's just too many Niners RBs, and honestly, none of them are that great. So it's kind of like picking trash in a dumpster fire for the Niners running backs, and I would rather have no part in it. So I would drop Jeff Wilson and then try to find somebody else in the waivers that could potentially help me.
So I was going to say that the Ravens have activated Rashad Bateman, so he's getting ready to come off IR. And I'm looking at a thing here from Pro Football Focus that says Rashad Bateman returns to practice, could play Week 4 versus Denver. So as far as your IR goes, he's getting ready to be mandatory that you move him off because they did activate him today. And he did practice, so he shouldn't be IR eligible anymore. As far as Jeff Wilson, listen, if one thing we know about the 49ers running backs is they're going to use all of them, I don't mind holding on to Jeff Wilson. If Elijah Mitchell and Trey Sermon are not getting the job done, when Jeff Wilson comes back, they'll go back to him. We've seen Jeff Wilson produce in that system before. He's very comfortable in that system, and he's going to be active on the 53-man roster because of his prowess on special teams, which the 49ers absolutely love Jeff Wilson and what he does on special teams. So they will keep him active on the 53-man roster.
All right. Yeah, I'm all the way in on exactly what George said. And I'm a little bit more bullish on Jeff Wilson. I've been targeting him, spending fab probably when I didn't need to, just to have him on my IR, just because I think he is the only guy on the Niners that has shown that he can do it. And I think this team's going to be winning football games, and they're going to want to use him because he's done it. I mean, granted, it was small sample size, but they brought him back. He's probably the only paid guy there. Not to say that other people aren't paid, but past this year, I think he's paid past this year. He's the only guy. I mean, they let go of McKinnon. I don't mind it. Yeah.
If everybody was healthy right now, the 49ers would have 4 running backs on their roster. Mostert, Wilson, Elijah Mitchell, and Trey Sermon. Those would be the 4.
And Wilson was the guy everybody was excited about in the offseason, if nobody remembers.
Yeah, everybody. There's in the dynasty circles, everybody's excited about Michael Hasty, but let's be honest, he would have been back on the practice squad if
Wilson
we didn't have all these injuries.
Right. All right. Aaron Elford actually has a question that fits in nicely with what George said. With a player coming off his IR spots, he needs to start making drops. Do I drop Drake, Fuller, or Trey Lance? Brady as his starter. Rest of the bench is Waddle, Tyson, and Pollard. PPR 14-man. Natter, let's start with you. Who are you dropping out of those 3 to bring back somebody from IR?
If it's one QB, I might have to take a shot at Trey Lance dropping him. I just don't see him starting anytime soon. And even if he does, I think he's going to get thrown in the dumpster fire with a tough NFC West schedule coming up. So I don't think he's productive at all for you to justify keeping him on your roster. Trey Lance is the guy.
Trey Lance was my guy as well if it's one QB. Reason being, point a game out on the schedule where you're going to sit Tom Brady for Trey Lance other than the bye week. You're not. You're just 100% you're not. So you can drop Trey Lance. It's fine. Just carry one quarterback. And if you need a quarterback for Brady's bye week, pick one up off waivers.
I'm going to assume this is not one quarterback if he has Trey Lance. But he did say Brady is my starter. So
yeah. That's
I don't know why.
14.
It's 14. Okay, it's 14. It's 14. Okay. I got you. If
now,
it's
wait,
a 14 man, I'm not dropping Trey Lance. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Because Tom Brady is a legend. He is elite, but he is old. God forbid he gets hit one time a hip. I don't wish this on him. As I've actually grown to. This is disgusting.
Respect.
I'm throwing
Just
up.
respect. Don't do it. Just
I've grown to respect Tom Brady. Oh dear, that's a Giants fan. So I do not want to see him get hurt. I want to see him. I'm actually I'm maybe low key rooting for him as a guy that lives in Florida. I'm still torn between the Miami Dolphins and the Buccaneers as my second team. But
they
Giants,
play
of
each other
course.
in 2 weeks.
Yes, so maybe whoever wins that game. We have a caller though, so let's take the caller. But yeah, I agree with these two. Actually, I didn't agree with them. I would hold Lance. I disagreed. So, but if it's because it's only as a 14 man. But let's take the caller.
Well, no, finish. I mean, who would you drop out of that list? Let's finish the question at least.
So, out of those guys, I would drop Drake.
Okay. See, if you're taking away the quarterback, I drop Fuller, and just because you don't need to have both Fuller and Jalen Waddle from the Dolphins on your team.
Okay. All right, we have a caller. Caller, I put you on. You are on the air. What is your name? What is your question?
Hi, how's it going? Yes, my name is Brett.
Hi, Brett.
Hey, what's up, Brett?
Hi, how y'all doing?
Excellent, buddy. Where are you calling from?
There we go.
I'm calling from Austin, Texas.
Outstanding. I love it. I lived in Houston a long time. I figured I heard you. How y'all doing? So I could kind of hear the accent. What do you got?
You can hear the call in it. Yes, sir. Thank you.
What do you got for us?
I've been asking questions on here for a couple of years now, but I finally decided to call in.
Thanks for calling
First of all, I mean, what to do with Robert Woods? I feel like that's a big question. He's kind of riding my bench.
See, these guys didn't do you any justice. I'm talking Natter and Sheehan. If you rostered Robert Woods, because I've been off Robert Woods all off season, and I've been like, get that guy off of my. He was a golf guy. He is Jared Goff. He is not Matthew Stafford. He's a volume. He needs volume. I don't think you can start him. Feel comfortable starting him at least. Try to see if you could get OBJ for him. You might be able to get OBJ and throw something else, and I think you could get OBJ.
That's the Giants homer and who's coming out saying
it is not. It is not. I think he looked good. He's going to continue getting targets. There's no Jarvis Landry. Let's stop. I know we have fun talking crap about OBJ, but let's face it, he is the most talented wide receiver in the league. He just is.
He was 4 years ago.
No, he still is. He still is. He still is. Like, you put him on the field when healthy, he is the most talented wide receiver in the league. Nobody can do what Odell has done. We've never seen it. We've seen maybe one or two plays here and there. This guy does it consistently when he is healthy. So if he's healthy for the first time in years, and you can get Odell for Robert Woods and some bum on your team, do it. That was just like a throwaway, just as far as in my head. Just get Robert Woods off your team because I don't think you're going to start him at all, and somebody's still going to buy him.
Not at all.
Yeah, I agree with Who's. He's getting to the point right now where you can't start him, but you can't drop him because he's
you can't drop him.
So I'm going to agree with Who's. Try to trade him or put him on your bench.
Well, we can't drop him, but he's worth a trade.
Yes. Yeah,
he's worth a trade, but
I would try to package him with another piece and see what you can get. Exactly what who said, and maybe they'll recognize the name. You'll get some value off of the name.
Little Pete.
But what are you trying to get for him?
Hey, I have a question, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. Based off of what the Cowboys run game did to the Eagles, I've got the Eagles starter Sanders and the Chiefs starter Edwards-Helaire, and they're playing each other. I'm kind of thinking Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
I'm thinking you're correct.
Yeah, I would start Edwards-Helaire over Miles Sanders.
Because who was that guy taking all the snaps on Monday night? That was like some random dude that was way faster.
Who's that?
Gainwell.
Gainwell
like
is
number
explosive.
14, 16 or something. I don't
Kenneth
know.
Gainwell. Yeah, Kenneth Gainwell. He looks explosive. Yeah, he looks great. Kenneth Gainwell. They're not giving him the ball enough. Which that worries me. If we're thinking of it, then
that's what made me down on Sanders and Edwards. He scored last week. He's kind of been down for a while, but I think Edwards might have a good week versus
I think
Philly.
they're the same guy, to be honest with you.
Yes, it really is. I wish I didn't have them, but
they're so boring now. There's yawning.
True. I mean, I told everybody not to take CEH, so if you did, you deal with that, and you deserve to put him in your starting lineup to have that agony.
I did not want him, but it was like crap. I went wide receiver heavy, and I needed a running back in the 5th, and he was there. And yeah, I regret it, but I'm working with what I got.
Hey, you'll be fine, man. Just keep tuning in, call into the show. We do have a caller coming up, but if you don't have anything else for us, hey man, good luck this week. But yeah, I think that's a solid move.
All right, Brett. Thanks for the call. Hey, Brett, 1 T or 2 in your name?
Yeah. 2 T's, like Brett Favre.
2 T. Okay, I'll remember that if you call in again. Thanks for the ring, 2T Brett. All right, up next, I think this is DJ. Is this DJ?
Yes, sir.
What's going on, DJ? How did you do last week?
I actually lost my first match. So I'm 2-1.
That's no problem.
So I actually lost McCaffrey, so it's tough right now.
That's all right.
I don't have Chuba Hubbard.
You did.
So
right.
that's
an issue. He was on your team, was he not? Was he not on your team last week? And did we tell you to drop him?
I think we told him not to.
No way I told him to drop him. Because I'm in
a predicament. I'm in a little bit of a predicament right now. So you got to kind of roll the punches, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm looking at right now is so my quarterback is Darnold. Okay. I still got Antonio Gibson. I'm struggling at RB2 now. Okay. Gibson's I'm RB1, quote unquote. All right. I got Thurman. You guys are just talking about Gainwell. And my third one is like McKissick.
McKissick is the most reliable one. I mean, Gainwell, he's worth rostering and he's worth taking a look at. But I mean, he only had 4 targets against the Cowboys for 32 yards. It wasn't spectacular or anything good to for us to jaw dropping about. So McKissick has the highest chance to put up fantasy points.
Yeah, so I got him and Gibson in at the same time. I got to run with. I did that a couple of years ago with James White, Michelle. I think 1 week and it worked out for me well. So I'm hoping that can be the same thing this week. So I have Thielen at receiver, Marvin Jones at receiver, and I got Godwin. So those are my top 3 right now. I lost AJ Brown too, right now.
Yeah, you and me both.
I'm down McCaffrey in it. Yeah, so we're down. So I got Thurman, I got Brian Edwards on my bench. And so, the whole Patriots backfield, we're kind of going back and forth between JJ and Ramondre. I want to pick up JJ, but what do you guys think about JJ Taylor?
I think another person had that question, and we said pick up neither.
Yeah, I don't think any of us are are excited thinking that there's a James White replacement on this team. I think if there was a James White replacement on this team, James White would have been replaced. He's like 30 years old. He's fine at his job, but they were definitely looking for a replacement in James White, I think. And they just haven't had one, I don't think. I think I said this earlier, Jacoby Myers went from 9 targets to 6 targets to 14 targets. So I think if you can, he doesn't have an RB tag. But if you can try to target Jacoby Myers for cheap, if you're hurting a flex, I think you could throw him in there. But I'm sure that the owner.
Well, I think I'm good at flex. Who do I have at flex? I got Ayuk right now at flex.
I think I'd rather have Myers over Ayuk.
DJ, but what did you say were your running backs again? McKissick.
My
Trey
running back.
Sermon.
Yeah, Gibson, McKissick. I got Sermon, Gainwell, McCaffrey.
So I would reach out to whoever's got Chuba Hubbard and ask them if they'd be interested in McKissick for Hubbard trade. And this way you get rid of one of the Washington running backs. You don't need them both. And you're giving them a running back who does carry standalone value in J.D. McKissick.
I don't think he's going to be able to get him, though, because the high upside of Hubbard, they're chasing CMC's 20 points per game at least. So for possibly 11 with McKissick, even if it's a rental
2
situation.
weeks, though. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I would sell them, hey, I understand, McKissick's going to carry Hubbard's going to be starting the next week or two because McCaffrey didn't go on IR, so he's not going to miss 3 weeks. So I'll give you a guy who's got standalone value that you can play almost every week versus a guy you're only going to get 2 weeks out of. That's how I would try to spin it.
So I tried to trade earlier with that guy. He's actually started Hubbard this week, and I looked at his lineup. I was like, he actually needs Hubbard because he lost James White. So I was like, that's not going to work. It's got to be the start lineup. There's nobody that you can really put in the start lineup. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, I'm of the mindset, and maybe it's just me. If I could get standalone value for somebody's handcuff, like I'll absolutely pull that trigger every time because in the long run, it's going to help my team. But that's just my mentality.
I think you could get way more if you did have Hubbard. But you don't have Hubbard, so sorry. What was the rest of your question?
What? And the other running backs, really. Royce Freeman's out there; he's still on the waiver, and then that's pretty much it. Todd Johnson, Daniel Williams, Tony Jones Jr., Darrell Williams. That's pretty much it, man. It's pretty bare, this year, as far as the waiver wire. So. Until I get CMC back, I had to start McKissick and Gibson at the same time. And then again, I got Gainwell, Sermon, and I can't start Gainwell because I don't really trust it yet.
Would you be open to trading Christian McCaffrey?
I would be. What are you thinking?
Maybe that's an angle. Now, and don't sell him at a discount. Like, don't you're not selling him for 75 cents on the dollar. I might sell him for 90 cents on the dollar. Right. But I'm not selling them for anything less than that. But if you're that desperate for a running back, like maybe you can go get yourself like a Nick Chubb. If the guy that's
McCaffrey's really hard to get still. People are stubborn with McCaffrey because he was their first pick in the draft.
And that's why I
offered Chase and Joe Mixon and Teddy Bridgewater in a league for McCaffrey and some bum player, just so it's like, hey, I'm not trading just for McCaffrey, that tactic, or it's like, hey, give me your bum player, you're gonna drop him anyway, and it was still declined. Like, this is a super flex league. You're getting Teddy Bridgewater, you're getting Joe Mixon, and you're getting Jamar Chase
for CMC,
and
it got declined,
and a bum player, and it got declined.
Yeah, so I try to hammer this in for everybody. If you're receiving more than one player and you're giving away only one player, you automatically lost that trade. I try to hammer this in to everybody. If you gain more players on a trade, you automatically lost it. The person receiving less players always wins because he gets rid of roster spots. He can pick up more players. He can pick up more stashes, and he picked up somebody that is going to make his team infinitely better and is probably a must-start type caliber player. So I never recommend going that route where you trade CMC for multiple players, multiple depth players is what you probably going to get for him.
You can call Joe Mixon or Jamar Chase.
Yes, exactly. I mean, they're not depth at all. They're all must start.
Yeah,
they're all must start. But guess what? Christian McCaffrey can put up those three players combined.
I agree with you.
So in that case, it's not worth it for the Christian McCaffrey owner.
That's where it's a total of the line. That's why I brought it up. I do think that trade should have went down, but I understand why it did not go down. So you're gonna need to get a lot.
You're giving up.
McCaffrey.
You're giving up a lot. You better spread them cheeks and give him.
Wow. Okay. Wow, that's touching. Hey, DJ, you got anything else real quick?
No, I would just, so you guys should think I should just keep it the way that it is with Gibson, McKissick, Darnold, Thielen, Godwin, Marvin Jones, Hockenson, and Ayuk.
I think it's a solid team. I mean, unless you get something that you have to make a move for, I wouldn't make moves just to make moves. I mean, it's fun to do. That's why you join multiple leagues, though, so you don't have to do. You're not in this problem.
All right, bud.
Okay. All right, man.
All right, buddy.
All right.
Thank you for calling, TJ. We will talk to you next week, probably. If you guys want to call into the show, the number is 207-407-SLEEP. You can dial it just like this guy.
Oh, this is Curtis, baby. Yeah, I know Curtis, man.
Oh, Curtis, man!
This is the new cut. Y'all be back. Whoop, whoop,
whoop, whoop, whoop. What's up, Curtis? How you doing, buddy?
What's up, guys? What's up, man? What's up?
How's life treating you this week?
Oh, it was pretty rough. I ain't gonna lie. This week was not a good week. Main league 0-3, but hey, it is what it is. You don't. I don't let it define me. It's plenty of time to come back and make a wrong comeback. So I'm going to go.
There we go.
Comeback season, Curtis. That's what I like to hear.
All day, man. All day.
How you doing, man? This week?
All right, guys. So,
how many weeks? How many guys you spanked up? How many trades you took down? What's going on? Give us the deets.
Man, right now, I don't know what's going on. I haven't hit. My team has not hit its stride. I feel like I have a bunch of good players. Like I got Kamara. I got Terry McLaurin, Ridley, Tyreek Hill, and I got the players that they just not hit. They're not hitting their stride right now. It's a little difficult, but it's all good, man. New week, we're gonna make it happen, man. So I'm gonna run the question to you right quick, man. And I was able to pick up Manuel Sanders, and so I'll ask you guys what you thought Manuel Sanders. Actually, I had 3 people. To pick 2 of them. I got Manuel Sanders. Manuel Sanders, Miles Gasket, Kenny Galladay, and Hunter Renfrow. And then 4 PPR.
I like it. Would you give up?
No. I'm saying, what would you choose? I need 2 out of that.
Oh, okay. Give us it to again. I think I like Renfro for sure.
It's Hunter Renfrow, Emmanuel Sanders, Miles Gasket, and Kenny Galladay for a flex. I need 2 of those.
PPR.
Yes, 4 point.
So I'm gonna go with Gaskins and who was the other player? I said Renfro. Yeah, Gaskin Renfro.
So I listened to the great debate earlier, and the one I was listening to, they were going great debate between Hunter Renfrow and Emmanuel Sanders. Emmanuel Sanders has been in on over 91% of all plays that Buffalo has run. So I definitely want to have him in there. He's equivalent to the number 2 wide receiver.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
You know what? I agree. I was looking at my rankings and I passed Emmanuel Sanders because I had him so high.
Yeah, Emmanuel Sanders is balling out right now in Buffalo. Buffalo doesn't
Yeah.
even hide it. They don't care to run the ball. Like Josh Allen is their RB1, and he just wants to throw the ball all over the field. So I want Emmanuel Sanders for sure. And I love if you need somebody with a safe floor, I do love Hunter Renfrow. He's only getting in on about 50% of the plays, but when he comes in, they're using him and they're targeting him a lot. So I'm all about Hunter Renfrow and Emmanuel Sanders.
I'm
And
gonna
if
agree.
you want, I'm gonna plug it again. Curtis, check out the Superwire great debate that Sheehan just had with one of the Superwire writers. They break everything down between those two players, and there's some surprising stats in there between the two.
Yes, I heard the stats because I was going to put a waiver in for Emmanuel Sanders, and then Hunter Renfrow was there. The one I said, well, after listening to the great debate, I don't want to leave him on the waiver wire now. I feel like I should just pick him up and put him on the bench, if anything.
So this is how high I am on Manny Sanders this week. I have him above Kareem Hunt, Antonio Brown, Chuba Hubbard, T.J. Hawkinson, Myles Gaskins, Marquise Brown, Brandon Ayuk, Mark Andrews, Corey Davis, Juju. Very high on him apparently. And I bumped him up. I had him ranked earlier last week. Probably like 15 spots lower or so, 15, 16 spots lower. And yeah, he's getting the work. I initially had him ranked higher in the early part of the season. I think in the draft season on Fantasy Pros, I had him ranked high. But it's nice to see him doing what he's doing now. He's basically like a Marvin Jones, but without getting that same respect. But Marvin Jones is getting all the love and respect because he's got Trevor Lawrence as his quarterback. So it's a little bit more hype there. People are down on, not talking about Buffalo, I guess, as much. But Sanders he's been a stud, and he has been his whole career. I mean, he's such a solid guy. He's better than John Brown was last year, and John Brown was great last year as well. So I mean, Saints are giving it up. It's a great matchup.
Yeah, he being Emmanuel Sanders, he struggled week 1 and week 2 against Pittsburgh and Miami. And I know Miami's a bad team and Pittsburgh is a bad team, but they've got really good defenses. Washington, especially their secondaries. Washington has a good front 7, but their secondary is atrocious. And Emmanuel Sanders went off on them, 5 for 94 and 2 touchdowns. And next week he gets Houston. And last time I checked Houston, we have a problem. And that problem is they're not very good on defense. And then after that, it's Kansas City. So I'm just, at this point for me, Emmanuel Sanders, I'm just plugging him into my lineup and just forget about him.
He's almost nearing set and forget mode right now. And I'd be worried to be a Stephon Diggs owner just a little bit right now.
I mean, kudos to you. And again, I've been shouting you and Sheehan, but you guys been killing it all off season. If people are paying attention, these guys have been telling you Stephon Diggs is not going to be the Stephon Diggs of last year.
No, he's not.
So this is, I think he'll have better weeks. So he's actually a trade target for me, but I don't think I'm going to get him for what I want to pay right now. I think people are still holding on at a high value. You drafted him either late first or back in second or something like that, or maybe early second. So yeah, but Manny Sanders, yeah, absolutely great flex option this week.
All right. Two more quick questions, man. It says Derrick Henderson coming back this week. It's just off the off chance he makes it on and does not play. Would you pivot to either Myles Gaskin or pivot pivot out of Miles Gasket, Devontae Williams, or Zach Moss?
I'm gonna go Gaskins.
I'm gonna go Gaskin.
So Miles Gaskin looked good running the ball last week. The problem is he didn't get the volume. Miami basically, after the first quarter, they gave up rushing the ball. And I know I just said Buffalo doesn't even want to run the ball; that they would just want to throw it all over the place. But I think at this point, I would take Zach Moss over Miles Gaskin.
All right, then, guys. My last question. This week, do you who you like better? I've been running the Peppers defense, but it's playing Dallas this week, and I was able just to scoop up the Bengals defense and put them on my bench. Would you rather play the Bengals defense in that plus match against Trevor Lawrence, or would you still roll with the Panthers versus Dallas?
I got the same issue in one of my leagues, and I did pick up a Bengals defense. I wanted to start them over Bucks. I already had them, even though they're right there, they're ranked. But one of the reasons why I went after Bengals defense is also I didn't want anybody to go out there and play them against me. But yeah, I think it's mainly a good move just to take them off of waivers. It's a toss-up. I think I have them back to back. Hang on.
I would like to go Bengals. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is playing that phenomenally, and I think the Bengals could really capitalize on some misplays from the young rookie quarterback.
So
yeah,
Trevor Lawrence is in very rare air, and I mean Hall of Fame rare air. There's only been 2 quarterbacks in the last 40 years to throw 2 interceptions in their first 3 games. That would be Troy Aikman, and that would be Peyton Manning. Both of them coming in as rookies threw 2 interceptions the first 3 games of their careers. I don't expect that to change. That Jaguars team is really bad. They're going to get behind. They're going to have to throw the ball, and Trevor Lawrence is going to throw. It's going to give opportunities for turnover. So I would play the Bengals.
I have the Bengals ahead right now, but Tampa did sign Richard Sherman, and I literally have them back to back. So I did this before they signed Sherman. I don't know if Sherman's that big of a deal to move them ahead, but yeah, like I said, I have them literally back to back. It's a coin flip, but since I have Bengals ahead, just go Bengals. I agree with the rest of these guys.
All right, on to Cincinnati. Curtis, anything else? You good to go?
I'm good to go, guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate the help as always, man.
All right, brother. Have a good week. We'll talk to you next
Good luck,
month.
Curtis.
Good luck.
All right, that was Curtis. If you want to be like Curtis and call the show and skip the line and ask your question of these experts immediately, the phone number is 207-407-5337, 207-40-SLEEP. Just type that out, and you will talk to us. All right, let's get into some actual Mailsack questions here. I want to hit this one real quick because Black Mamba 24 is a longtime listener. Wants to know, PPR, choose a flex, Devonta Smith, OBJ, Ruggs, Fuller, Sermon, Barber. I think who's is going to go OBJ? Am I right?
Yeah. You are correct.
What are you going, George? Who do you like in this?
What were the options one more time?
We got Devonta Smith, OBJ, Ruggs, Fuller, Sermon, and Barber. PPR flex spot.
OBJ.
OBJ.
All right, 3 for OBJ. There you go, Black Mamba. Thanks for tuning in. All right, let's hop into the sack. Actually, we got some questions. I got to get through these first. The Domo Kingdom's watching on YouTube. I have Miles Sanders, JT, and Kareem. Should I panic at running back, or am I good? My receivers, Devontae, Terry, and Marvin Jones / Julio. How you guys think? Natter, would you be? George says he's fine. Natter, you good?
Yeah.
Let's see. I have Miles Sanders, JT, and Kareem. Should I panic? People have it worse. You're doing all right.
People have it worse.
He's got three running backs that are within the top 25 running backs. So
yeah,
you're doing all right.
You're doing good.
Okay. Alan Alford wants to know, keeping Bateman for the team name I'm Bateman. Oh, that goes back to the Bateman IR.
Yep.
I got it. John says, thanks for the question. Also have a soft spot for Wilson. He won me a title last year.
Yeah, Wilson.
And old man fall off. I don't know.
nice Obi-Wan. There you go.
That was who's talking about Tom Brady.
Oh, okay. Yeah. These are back from 518. It's already 547. All right. C. Fran the Man 1. So I have Ridley, Thielen, Debo, Evans, Shepard, Ayuk, and Cooks. PPR. I think I have insane wide receiver depth, and I need to trade up for some. So should I trade Thielen and Debo to get Diggs? We were just talking about Diggs in Buffalo.
No.
Not all he's was expected to be. So you're saying no to this trade.
I would trade Thielen and Ayuk for Diggs, but I wouldn't trade Debo.
I would trade Evans and Ayuk for Diggs.
Yeah,
I would trade none of them for Diggs. They're all the same player.
But you don't want Debo and Ayuk. You're never going to start both of them. You're only going to start one of them, and it's always going to be one of those little things of
I'm actually fine with starting them both once they both are established.
But are you going to start them over Thielen, Ridley, Evans, Shepard? No, right now all three of those guys are going. Yeah, bye weeks, but like if you could upgrade your wide receiving core by giving Wilson that,
or so he's trading.
No, he's got to trade.
You're trading Thielen, but he's saying, should I trade Thielen and Debo? So somebody obviously offered this. So let's assume he has a counter, right? So the person wants at least Thielen or Debo. You're trading them Thielen
and Ayuk. I would do that.
And Ayuk
for Diggs. I'd do that
for Diggs. Yeah.
Thielen and Cooks.
I wouldn't even do that. I would counter with Evans and Ayuk.
This is the kind of thing you preach about is consolidation. So you have just
I do like, but I feel like these players are the same. Like
how
for the most part, I think they're all going to get you the same points per game.
Diggs,
right? But I mean, you could open up a bench spot for something else. I mean, you could start stashing some.
That's true. That's true.
Some lottery tickets.
Yeah, I do like it. I'm just saying the pieces that you're giving up, though.
Yeah.
Like I'd want to give up a lesser piece than a Cooks, Ayuk, even Shepard, who's been up Shepard because he's injured right now. But maybe Shepard's a trade target right now because he's injured.
Yeah, but you have to send somebody that somebody's actually going to accept. If somebody sends me like Evans and Ayuk or something like that, there's no way I'm going to take it. You got to send something worth accepting.
I think that's worth accepting. I mean, Evans
that guy gave up a second rounder. In a redraft, he spent a second round pick on Stephon Diggs. That is the value.
We're in week 4 right now.
I would say the problem is you're going into week 4 and Stephon Diggs is not playing like he was drafted. In the second round.
Exactly.
His value is gone down. Yeah. It didn't stay consistent. It's gone down.
Okay, right now, let's see. You can only start 3 wide receivers, assuming it's a 2 wide receiver league with a flex or a 3 wide receiver league with a flex. Right now, Shepard, Ayuk, and Cooks are sitting on his bench getting fantasy points for no reason. You might as well flip them and try to upgrade, even if it's slightly. You might as well upgrade.
I think I like the depth, and if I want to upgrade, I want to upgrade at running back, not wide receiver. Like I want to give 2 of these guys away to get a running back.
So you can get rid of like Ayuk and Evans for Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, if I could do that, absolutely.
I can get with that also. I get with that also. I agree there. But he's got a lot of depth.
So we got trades, start, sit waivers. We got some questions on sleeper we're running through.
I got more. Let me run this. I got questions right here. I got millions of questions. Noah Dronto. If I trade Gibson, Ridley, and I love all the trade questions. Week 4, it's like time to start making deals.
My guys.
His favorite.
If I trade Gibson, Ridley, and AJ Brown for Tyreek Hill, Josh Allen, and Saquon Barkley, do I win that trade?
You lose because you get Saquon, and Saquon is trash.
Oh boy, here we go.
He is not trash. So you're giving up Gibson, Ridley, and AJ Brown for Tariq, Josh Allen, and Saquon. You are smashing that trade. That is a win, sir.
That's a good All right.
Yeah, I like the trade.
You like the trade? All right.
I like the trade.
It's amazing.
Kingdom. Oh, here's another one you might like. Domo Kingdom. A guy offered me Pitts for my Marvin Jones. Do I take that?
I like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Smash that. If you need it,
Yeah.
especially if you need a tight end, if you've got somebody that you're out there just streaming from week to week, like a Jared Cook or an Adam Troutman or something like that, smash that.
Like it's a
Yeah.
season. It's my first season.
Great.
Yeah.
I miss the mail sack. I don't do this enough.
That's what I listen to the show for. That's why I hop on the mail sack, just for the C Senor.
Pitts has been immensely disappointing, yes, but he's still better than every streaming tight end out there. You might as well take it.
All right. Let's finally hop into the sack here with Sean Peltz. He gets us started, guys. The phones are wide open too. If you want to call us, you can reach us at 207-407-5337. Phone lines are wide open. Sean Peltz, do I start Kareem moving forward? My other running backs are Miles and JT. So are we starting Kareem over Miles, or is it a thing you're going to have to look at every week?
Everything is every week.
Yeah, everything is weekly.
But
I would go back and forth and play the matchups between Miles and Kareem.
Yeah, unless you got top 5 guys, it's every week is every week. Unless you just traded your bench depth to have your running back 1, your running back 2, your wide receiver. They're all top 5 guys or top 10 guys. Every week you're going to be making this decision with guys. You play the matchup.
But right now, I would try to put both JT and Miles Sanders in my RB1 and RB2 spot, and I'd absolutely recommend putting Kareem in your flex.
I agree with that.
Tears for Beers, better stream at tight end Higbee versus Arizona or Knox versus Houston. Start with George. No, Natter, you're next. George first.
Give me Knox versus Houston.
All right.
Knox versus Houston.
The Homer in me, Homer meaning, I'm a New York fan. So the Bills are the only New York team, actually. So I am a Bills fan as well. I want to say Knox, but I'm going to go Higbee here.
Okay. All right. So 2 for Knox, 1 for Higbee. Ron Mex, Josh Gordon takes. Let's keep it to like 10 seconds. Just give me 10 seconds of Josh Gordon.
You're not starting him anytime soon. Eventually, he'll probably end up being the wide receiver 2 in Kansas City. Perfect. And that's my take.
Perfect. Who's? It's a radio show. What is he doing? Rubbing 2 sticks together?
It's his hand.
He's trying to start fire.
Is he starting fire?
He's watched one too many episodes of Survivor, and he's trying to start
This goes
fire.
limp afterwards as you try to do it, and then so you're getting excited, but then
okay. So you're getting excited about something, and then
nothing.
No performance.
No performance.
Yeah.
Give him some Viagra. Yeah. I wish I would play in leagues not competitive enough for somebody to pick up and start Josh Gordon against me.
All right. Ramex also wants me to tell Hoos that I got a 2-for-1 where I sent away Terrace Marshall for Kareem Hunt and Mike Williams. I think he just wanted to get the sound drop. I think.
What?
He wanted to see Senor.
That's who.
Nah, let's get the Scarface. A. Alford, is Tyson droppable in 14-man PPR format?
Nope.
No
way.
12, he's not droppable.
No.
Maybe in 10. You could justify it. I still wouldn't do it.
I don't think you can in 10. I mean, he's a running back that's
in a 10. Yeah, in a 10-man league, you can drop Tyson. There's more on the waiver wire. There's other running backs you can pick up.
I mean, if you could get Hubbard, if Hubbard's there and you dropping Tyson, sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's still the number 1 rush offense. Supposed to be.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
it's still supposed to be the number 1 rush.
And you're
offense.
getting a rental versus a guy that's starting rest of season for you. So,
yeah.
I no, don't drop him.
No, don't drop him. Basically, don't do it.
It's the one standard, 2 standard questions here. Standard league 5-point bonus for over 100 yards. Would you play Brandon Cooks, Devonta Smith, Michael Pittman, or Cordero Patterson?
Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Mother Cooks.
There you go.
Brandon Cook. Other standard league, would you play Trey Sermon, Damian Harris, or Jacoby Myers in the second flex? Allen Robinson is still a start week to week ?
Jacoby Myers, and I really respect the standard league formats. I love it. And Allen Robinson is still start week to week, in my opinion.
Yeah, for me, it's Damian Harris as the answer for the question, and it's yes, Allen Robinson still start week to week.
I can't get jiggy with Allen Robinson. Who can we start over Allen Robinson? Because I don't want to start Allen Robinson.
No, he's not part of the question. The question is, who do you start in Damian Harris, Trey Sermon, or Jacoby Myers in the second flex? It's standard, too.
Okay. Yeah, Jacoby Myers isn't catching touchdowns.
Neither is Trey Sermon.
Never caught a touchdown.
Yeah, he has literally never.
Like with all the targets he's got, he has never once caught a touchdown. I think Damian Harris is the better play there. He'll get you a touchdown. That's what you want in standard.
Okay, we got a call. This is Oswaldo. Oswaldo, let's welcome you to the show. How you doing, buddy? What's your question this week?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Doing excellent, my friend.
I need a running back and like 2 flex options, and like I feel like whatever's left over is all just I don't know who to pick out of the bunch. So I have Elijah Mitchell, Trey Sermon, McKissick, Gainwell. Also got Emmanuel Sanders and Tyler Higbee.
Sanders.
Yeah, it's definitely Sanders. So what did you need from those, Oswaldo? What did you need from those 2 flexes?
Okay, I forgot I had Sony Michel. So I need a RB2 and I need a flex option.
Can you repeat the names?
RB2.
Is this PPR?
Yeah, PPR.
Can you repeat the names?
Yeah, it's Elijah Mitchell. I had to write them all down. It's Elijah Mitchell, Trey Sermon, McKissick, Gainwell, Sanders, Higbee, and Sony Michel.
Okay. Well, you're not going to start 2 Niners running backs.
No, you're not.
If Elijah Michel plays, you're playing Elijah Michel.
I'm leaning McKissick and Emmanuel Sanders.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
So I'm going to go Sanders. And did you say Miles too or no?
No. Emmanuel, not Miles.
Okay.
Okay. That's where I got lost.
Yeah, I got lost too. I got
Sanders, Gainwell, McKissick, Sony.
Not Sony. Not Gainwell. Not Trey Sermon. That leaves Emmanuel, Elijah, and McKissick.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, McKissick
PPR, I want McKissick and Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with George. He's correct.
I'm going to agree with you.
It doesn't matter what. Okay,
it
I was
doesn't
going to
matter.
say it doesn't matter what you say.
I was going to say it doesn't matter anyway. But
all right, Oswaldo, you got anything else?
Yeah, even if what's his name is good to go, Elijah Mitchell. Y'all don't like that matchup because Seahawks kind of letting everybody get yards on the ground.
It's a good matchup. I like McKissick at Atlanta. Atlanta's defense is just terrible. So I expect McKissick to have a pretty decent game in that one. The problem you're running into with San Francisco is how much volume, if Elijah Mitchell plays, how much volume is each player going to get between Sermon and Mitchell? I don't want to play that guessing game.
Yeah, and Kyle Juszczyk, the fullback, had the most touches. The most touches and the most snaps. And the most snaps at running back out of everybody on the Niners roster. He outsnapped Trey Sermon, all right? If that's not the biggest wake-up call you need at Trey Sermon, I don't know what else you need.
He's also like one of the best blockers in all.
I started him once.
I started him more than once.
Trey Sermon?
No,
or Kyle Juszczyk? I don't even blame somebody for doing that.
He's on the field so much
that
you can't not start him.
Like he's good, and he's better than every Niners running back other than Elijah Michel because he's just a speedster.
Man, y'all making me want to drop him. Hey, so
Trade him,
Man.
about Marlon Mack. Is he worth the stash? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? What if he gets traded to this situation?
I would stash Marlon Mack. They're looking to trade him, and you can look around the league and see some teams that could really use some running back help. Miami immediately comes to mind. The 49ers come to mind. Atlanta comes to mind. Like there are some teams that could really use some running back help.
Who should I drop if I was? Because I could stash them right now. I got a Gainwell I can drop. Sony, Sermon, Higbee.
Who's your other tight end?
I got Pitts.
I would drop Higbee. You're not starting Higbee over Pitts at all this year, other than when he's on bye.
Shame on you for drafting Pitts, but you might as well start him now.
Yeah, I've been starting him. They ain't got no choice.
Where'd you draft him?
Oh, I don't know. What's up?
What
round did you draft Pitts?
I was, I think 9 or 10.
No way.
About 12 people.
No, what round? What round did you get him?
Oh, I think it was like 4th round or 5th.
5th isn't bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say fifth is okay. Anything before that is a slight reach. But you know what? It's one of those things where if you want Kyle Pitts, like you wouldn't have to reach to get him. So.
Yeah, I don't have him in nearly enough leagues unless it's a dynasty. Redraft, I don't think I have any Kyle Pitts, just because I don't think he was worth.
I've got him in one dynasty league.
Yeah, I got him in a ton of dynasty because dynasty he's awesome in dynasty, but I don't think you're gonna get it this year. I mean, he's like 22 or some shit like that.
20.
Yeah,
I'll look it up.
I wanted to say 21, but I was like, I feel like he might be younger than that.
I don't think he's even 21.
Yeah, I was like 22. I was like, even say that just because it sounds better, but
He'll be 21 in
young.
October 6th.
Crazy.
So like a week away.
All right. So, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Kyle Pitts.
Oh,
go acquire him in Dynasty if you could get him.
So I should drop a Higbee then?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, get rid of Higbee. Get Marlon
for this week or rest of the season, or
no? He's stashing Marlon Mack.
Yeah, until Marlon Mack gets traded, if he gets traded.
Tyler Higbee for Marlon Mack, I would just leave Marlon Mack on waivers. I don't think he's interesting at all, to be honest.
This whole conversation was going this way, and then
he literally said no.
I mean, no one asked me about getting Marlon Mack. You know what I'm saying?
We asked if he should drop anybody for Marlon Mack.
And I
gave
did.
3 teams that could potentially get
and
traded.
Everyone had something to say, and then I threw my little tidbit at the end. I didn't want to cut you guys off.
Oh,
all right, so Oswaldo, a couple of us think you should stash Marlon Mack. Who's is against it? Just don't go on Sleeper app and ask how it.
That's what I was just gonna say. Don't ask Sleeper. He's the king of all things.
You will get banned.
Huh,
you will get banned.
Hey, in one of my other leagues, who do y'all suggest? I got a Devonta Smith as my wide receiver 2, but I do have some other options: Pittman Jr., Galladay, and I think that's it for now.
Devonta,
wide receiver 2.
How many men? This is a start question.
Yeah,
Devonta Smith.
It's Devontae.
Okay. All right.
Does not matter what I have to say. Guys. It's Pittman for me, but I'm outscored.
You trust Carson Wentz?
Pittman's going to get shadowed by X this week. Xavier Howard's going to be shadowing Pittman.
You mean he's got embarrassed?
I don't think anyone's shadowing Pittman. I don't think anyone's shadowing Pittman.
He's the best wide receiver.
Yeah, then even if he's not shadowed, there's still Byron Jones.
The most targets there.
Well, there's still Byron Jones.
Start Jonathan Taylor. They're going to run it all over Miami. It's going to be disgusting.
All right, well, Oswaldo, this We didn't outvote you, Hoos, as well. This is why we have like 2 or 3 people on every show.
He had Marvin Jones there. So yeah, start Marvin Jones over him.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Who says Marvin Jones? But I mean, you listeners and fans, you're going to find somebody you agree with more often than not, and that's going to be the guy you're probably going to listen to, even though everybody else might disagree. Oswald, you got anything else, bud?
Nah, that was it, man. Thank you guys.
All right,
Have
brother.
a good night.
Have a good weekend, and happy birthday to, was it Kyle? You say Kyle Pitt's birthday next Wednesday?
Pitt's birthday. Happy birthday.
Next Wednesday will be Kyle Pitts' birthday.
I'll get him on the show. We'll sing him happy birthday. It'll be amazing.
Sounds awesome.
Okay. Back to the quick. Let's blow through these real quick here in the mail sack. NFL fan. This is going to be a hard one. Getting trade offers for a couple of my players. Who would be acceptable trade offer for Najee Harris? I have Najee 14-team non-PPR redraft.
It's going to take a lot for me to trade Najee.
Yeah, you're not. How about that? You're not.
Okay.
I mean, you can. No, absolutely. You can trade him, but get a lot. What are you getting?
So on Yahoo right now, I'm looking at the trade market for Najee Harris, and I'll just say a couple of names in trades that went down. You could tell me yes or no. Austin Eckler for Najee Harris straight up. That went down.
Yes.
I like that one.
Okay, I would take that also. I want Austin Eckler. How about David Montgomery for Najee Harris?
No.
Nope.
No. Okay, this one's, I think we all can agree. Yes, Christian McCaffrey.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and let's go one more. Najee Harris and A.J. Brown for Myles Gaskin and James Robinson.
What?
Give me Gaskins and Brown.
Gaskins.
Sorry, not give me Najee and Brown. Sorry.
Yeah, Najee Harris and A.J. Brown.
That's
Myles
not even
Gaskin.
fair. So I guess they're doing that because these players are, A.J. Brown is injured, so they think you can get him that cheap. And Najee. That's not a fair trade, I don't think. But I guess because he's injured, I don't know.
How about Najee Harris for DeAndre Hopkins?
Najee.
Yeah, that's fair trade.
That's fair trade. But I'd rather have Najee. Running backs are too difficult.
Yeah, exactly. Hopkins might get injured one game and then he's out the rest of the season. I don't know. He's older.
All right. So, I mean, yeah, Najee Harris is tradable, but it would take a pretty penny.
It would.
Yeah,
Boss
I want more than Hopkins.
Boss Fat Man on YouTube is asking, is it okay to start Deontay, Toledo Rockets, and Mason Crosby, all who play in the same game? I mean,
well, one of them's a kicker, so who cares?
No. We care about our kickers.
Unless you think the game is going to get rained out or something, I don't see a problem with this. Let's go for it.
I mean, if anything, I'm going to sit Devontae Adams.
Please say sarcasm, just so the viewer knows.
I don't think he needs to. Devontae Adams.
If you did not.
If he needs to be sarcastic and he says Devontae Adams, then I don't know what you're doing playing fantasy football.
And you could get more of George on Sunday mornings during the live Blitz show. He'll be giving you great starts and advice. You just have to figure out if he's
sarcastic.
You know the problem is for a second I almost believed him. That's why I was like, hold on, he needs to clarify.
He did.
Oh man.
Underdog wants to know. I'm sorry, Too Nice. Talk to me about Hines. Give me 3 words about Nyheim Hines. Hoos, go.
Nyheim Hines, love him.
That's 4. Natter. Sorry, Natter. Hit us up.
I hope I don't roster him. That's more than 4.
Good. Like that. George, 3 words. Nyheim Hines.
I can give you 2 words. PPR flex.
Okay. Underdogs. Would you trade Ridley for Henderson? Standard scoring. I have Chubb and Gaskin. I have Amari, A-Rob, Mike Williams, and Corey Davis. So shipping out Ridley for Henderson. You guys like this trade?
No.
No, I want a lot more than Darrell Henderson for Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
Okay. Get more.
I'm not jacking it.
Dirty Bird 777 trade off for my Josh Allen and Waller for Kelsey. I also have Dak as my backup quarterback. This is a nice trade position to be in, I think.
It is.
This is great. I want something coming back with Kelsey. Give me something. Give me another wide receiver. Give me a running back. Give me another piece coming back with Kelsey. But to be honest, I would just keep Waller. I mean,
Yeah, you're giving up a lot for Kelsey.
I want
You're giving up a
Kelsey.
ton for Kelsey.
Kelsey is the only option there. I don't think that Josh Gordon's going to be a thing, even though he looked nice in that jersey. He would look nicer in a number 12 jersey, though. Asshole, whoever didn't give him that number 12 jersey.
He doesn't need it.
If you need to make a trade Josh Allen for another piece. You're fine at tight end with Waller. You don't need Kelsey.
So trade Josh Allen?
Yeah, if his other starting quarterback is Dak Prescott.
Would you trade Josh Allen for?
Super flex though.
It doesn't say that.
I also have Dak as my backup quarterback, so I assume it's a single quarterback.
Yeah, trade Josh Allen.
Yeah, trade Josh.
That's a great call, actually.
All right, Dirty Birds. Write us more. If you have more specific questions about players to target, write us again on Sleeper app. Heat Culture, Curtis Samuel over Tariq Cohen.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think Tariq Cohen's going to play this year.
People are stashing him.
Too nice asked about Nyheim Hines. Also talk about the depth chart in the Raiders running back lines. What to expect of Peyton Barber, Josh Jacobs, and Drake. I know Hoos is a huge Peyton Barber fan. So what about this Raiders running back room? What's got you thinking?
I like Peyton Barber back in 2018. I don't like him this year. I think that they're going to use a different back. I think that this team is smart. We're starting to see John Gruden be John Gruden. He's starting to have the pieces to do what he needs to do. And it just seems like he's just hitting, like there's nothing he can't do almost. He just seems like he's outsmarting these coaches. And I think he's going to continue to do that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't even see much of Peyton Barber next week, and we just see just like a rando guy. He might do like a 49ers thing. He's just like, I'm gonna just play different running back, and you don't know who's coming.
It'll be a running back by committee until between Barber and Drake.
They paid Drake
until Josh Jacobs come back, and then we'll see what we've seen from the running backs the first couple of weeks before Josh Jacobs got injured. Peyton Barber does nothing. Listen, he's been in the league forever. He just set a career high in rushing against the Miami Dolphins. And I'm sorry, I'm a fat old guy. I can go out and probably get close to 100.
No, you cannot. No, you cannot. Don't do that.
I can.
No, I believe it.
No, you can't.
I believe
I've seen George. I was in Dallas.
I was there too. Listen, I said I'm a fat old man.
I saw you fall.
I rolled an ankle and I played the game.
You did roll an ankle, and the ankle looked disgusting. It was like this size.
I completed the game and I almost scored a touchdown. So I don't want to hear it. Listen, I can go out and get 100.
Where's Lucas at? He scored a touchdown with Johnny. Would Johnny Manziel throw a touchdown to him? Was that Johnny Manziel throw a touchdown to him?
Yeah,
a diving touchdown at that. That's what I wanted. You didn't dive for any balls.
I was wide open. If Vince Young was any good, he'd have hit me on the break, and I'd have walked in. I could have moonwalked in.
No, I saw that play.
Hold on, you calling him trash?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. I agree.
I mean, he is. He looked pretty good.
Because I've got another show I'm supposed to be at.
We'll roll through this. Ball never lied. JJ Taylor worth a stash. We are also earlier. No. Big Blue 212. What?
No.
Okay.
Just ignore. Go. Just go.
Okay, Taylor?
Go.
No. Taylor, no.
Would you stash Curtis Samuel over Rondale Moore?
No.
Keep Rondale. Too nice. Should I keep Mitchell or trade for Sermon? The 49ers are adding more legs to the RB depth.
Keep Michelle.
Keep Mitchell.
Yep.
All right. Too nice. Who is more reliable, Matt or Lamar Jackson for fantasy? I'm guessing it's
Matt Ryan. No, Lamar.
Yeah.
They call him crackhead speed legs. What are you talking? Oh, Matt Stafford, star. So Matt Stafford or Lamar Jackson? That's a good question. I like that.
That's much better than Matt Ryan.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
Lamar.
I'm gonna go Lamar still.
Lamar, take rushing value.
Yep.
Okay. D Piano Man. Piano Man. Would you start Lamar Jackson against Denver or Kirk Cousins against Cleveland?
Piano Man got
Lamar
them
Jackson.
keys. He got them keys. Piano Man got them keys.
Kirk Cousins.
Really?
Yeah, I would go Kirk Cousins against Cleveland.
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I know he's been balling, but Cleveland's defense is real. Yeah, I don't like it.
I trust the Russian quarterback. Their floor is too nice.
All right, you're starting Lamar. I got 3 words for you. You like that? No, we like Lamar Jackson this week. Heat culture. Would Kamara for Tyreek Hill a fair trade, or what should I do with Kamara? I want to upgrade wide receivers. Starters: Fields, Teddy B, McLaurin, A-Rob, Chubb, Gibson, Kamara, Claypool, Hawkinson, Kenny G. Bench. I mean, you could see it. Kareem Hunt, Melvin Gordon, Patrick, McKissick, Madison, Parker, IR, Cohen, Bateman, Bateman. Was trying to maybe acquire Kamara for Devontae Adams, but the guy says he wants. Okay, so no, so he's selling Kamara and possibly acquiring McLaurin. He wants Devontae Adams. So he wants to sell.
He's trying to acquire Devontae Adams, but the guy that has Devontae Adams wants both McLaurin and Kamara for him, and don't do that.
Okay.
I got you. So that's
that's a terrible trade. A Kamara for Adams would be a losing trade, and he still wants McLaurin and Kamara. Okay, that guy's just trying to.
I don't think it's a losing trade, but
that's a losing trade.
It's not a losing trade.
Which side do you want?
You want Kamara?
I think it's even, especially with the way Winston's been playing. Kamara has, I think, under 10 targets this year. Hold on, let me.
I think he's supposed to smash his touches record for the season.
Here's the problem.
He is far from smashing his touches record. If he's going to smash his touches record, he's only got like 9 targets. I want to say maybe 10. I'm probably wrong on that, but he hasn't. I don't think he's caught more than 9 balls. It has not been pretty for Alvin Kamara so far. He's got 4 receptions, 3 receptions, and he's got 14 targets on the year. I mean, fucking Jacoby Myers just had 14 targets. Who had before that 19 targets. Najee Harris had 19 targets in 1 game. Kamara is not Kamara this year, mainly because of Jameis Winston's not checking down the ball as much, and neither will Taysom Hill.
I'm not trading an RB, a 3rd round pick overall RB for Devontae Adams. I mean, granted, Devontae Adams is not far from the 3rd overall pick, but I mean, he's got Chubb, Gibson, and Kamara. Those are some of the 3 best RBs you could have right now. Minus Gibson, I think you should try to trade away Gibson for another wide receiver, but I'm not trading Chubb or Kamara away.
Yeah, the problem this guy is running into is he's loaded at running back with Chubb, Gibson, and Kamara. His starters with Fields and Teddy B and Carson Wentz, that's very weak quarterback. And then he's also weak at wide receiver as well with guys that are just underperforming. McLaurin's nice, but Claypool has been a disappointment. Kenny G has been a disappointment. Tim Patrick is, by the way, somebody you should be putting in your starting lineup. He's had a touchdown in each game, and he had 98 yards last week. He's just been playing fantastic. But yeah, your problem is your wide receivers are killing you, and so is your quarterbacks. So if I'm trading Kamara, I'm not doing Kamara and a piece. That's not helping your team, especially in a position you're already weak at wide receiver, giving up the best wide receiver on your team. Granted, Adams would become the best wide receiver on your team, but I'm not giving up, my 1st round pick and my running back and the best wide receiver on my team for Devontae Adams. I can't do that.
Yeah, it's got to be a 1-for-1, 1 RB, 1 wide receiver.
Yep.
CPU's decided to reset, according to Hoos. I love how he froze there, and he was just like...
Yeah, he made a weird face.
He was super quiet. That was cool. Dirty Bird 777. Do I start Sterling Shepard, Jacoby Myers, or Corey Davis? Full PPR. George, what do you like?
Jacoby.
Jacoby.
You were going to say Jacoby, but you were going to say Sterling.
I thought so, but then I heard George with the what do they call it? The reassurance.
The reassurance, the confidence.
Mhm.
And Baldy 22, the guy I faced this week has offered me in a PPR league McCaffrey for Mixon and Woods. And we talked about this a little bit in the beginning of the show, actually. We're down on Woods. This is a good trade if you're getting McCaffrey, isn't it?
Steve, this guy gets the C, senor. Come on, please.
Yeah, all right, I give him the C, senor. Where is it? How do you spell C, senor?
That's
so loud.
Yes.
Smash that button.
It's only good if you're the one getting McCaffrey, not the other way around for Mixon Woods.
Exactly. He also asked in PPR, drop AJ Dillon for Renfro, Ruggs, or AJ Green. Who are you picking up?
Renfro.
None. I'm keeping AJ Dillon.
Really? You want the handcuff, or you think he actually has to stand on play? Okay, that's fair.
I want the handcuffs because if the running back ahead of him goes down, and I don't wish it, but if Aaron Jones goes down, AJ Dillon's a top 15 running back. Renfro, Ruggs, and AJ Green. I'll take the upside with AJ Dillon.
That's fair.
Okay. Mr. Frost, which is Jesus. Go Raiders, who 3-0 team, too. What are we doing about Amari Cooper and Calvin Ridley? Alabama guys giving me headaches.
You took Amari Cooper knowing that some days he's going to ball out and some days he's going to turn to a magician and just perform a disappearing act. That's what you get and you deserve. And you're starting him regardless.
Very much.
And Ridley, like you're not sitting Ridley. You've got to start.
Yeah, you're not sitting. That's it. They're both of those, Amari Cooper and Ridley, they're must start. Whether they boom or bust, that's entirely your fault for drafting them.
Yeah, and you're probably not going to be able to sell them at this point. Maybe down the line. Boss Man Fat. Also, who's better for the rest of season? Brian Edwards or Zach Pascal? I picked up Brian for Pascal.
I like Brian Edwards better.
I like Brian Edwards better. I like Derek Carr the way he's playing right now.
Yep. And final question, Jones 345. I'll do one more check just to make sure. But final question, Jones 345. PPR need to start one tight end. Have Higbee, but was wondering if I should pick up and start one over the waivers or start him up, whatever. One of these guys, Schultz, Conklin, Gesicki, or Knox over Higbee.
I like Knox, but he's kind of a touchdown or bust type of player. At least with Higbee, you might get some catches, some receptions, and some yards. I think Higbee's a little bit safer.
Yeah, for me, it comes down to Higbee and Gesicki. Miami finally used Gesicki in this last game, and he looked fantastic. I'm just not trusting Miami to do it in consecutive games, even though it should be a good matchup against the Colts. But I think I would lean Higbee.
All right. That is it for the Mailsack. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the show this week. We are live every Wednesday at around 7 or 7:45 whenever we decide to hop on. But you can follow us in a bunch of different places. One is obviously on the Sleeper app. You can join the Sleepwire channel. You can join us on Facebook groups, the Sleepwire Fantasy Football Club, or on Twitter if that's your thing. Sleeper Wire Show. Look for us there. On the show today, Natter, host of the Sleepwire podcast at Top Tier Tactics _. Hoos the Prophet was on there at Sleeper Wire Hoos. And of course, also the host of the Sunday Morning Blitz, a show you should listen to, a live show. Showtime George at George Reed FF. Guys, we will check you next week. Good luck in week 5.
4. We want to have good luck in week 5 too.
I drew a blank there. There you go.